in the 17 U.S. intelligence agencies and offices. From the standpoint of U.S. national security, Western national security, what's the most dangerous operation that Iranian intelligence has its hand in, do you think?
Well, I think the most dangerous thing they do is terrorism. They have for decades now developed networks with other terrorist groups. So they themselves don't necessarily have to do something. They can contract it out. They can encourage others to engage in terrorism against the United States and our allies.
Ruel Garect, a former CIA officer who tracked Iranian intelligence through Europe and the Middle East, says the Iranian Ministry of Intelligence and Security used to conduct most Iranian-sponsored assassinations overseas. He says that unit killed Shapor Bakhtiar, the former Iranian prime minister, assassinated in Paris in 1991. But Grts says now those operations have shifted to the feared Quds Force, the shadowy Iranian military unit that's part of the Revolutionary Guard. What's the Ministry of Intelligence's biggest job now?
They're primarily used as an instrument of internal repression. They know how to hurt people.
The report also says the Quds Force is inside Syria, backing President Bashar al-Assad's forces. Separate from the report, Congressman Peter King, chairman of the Homeland Security Committee, has said that Iran runs spies out of its mission to the UN and here at the Iranian interest section in Washington. King made those comments after a plot was revealed to assassinate Saudi Arabia's ambassador to the U.S. The Iranian-American who pleaded guilty in that case said he'd worked with Iranian military people to formulate the plot. In the wake of that, King called for strong retaliation against Iranian diplomats in the U.S.
We, to me, should get rid of either all of them or most of them and send a clear signal.
Iranian officials denied any role in trying to assassinate the Saudi ambassador in Washington. We called and emailed Iran's mission to the UN for comment on the latest report on the country's intelligence operations. We got no response. Brian Todd, CNN, Washington.
Venezuelans continue to pray for their president Hugo Chavez, who continues his critical battle with cancer in a Havana hospital. Chavez is now said to have severe lung infection and respiratory failure. Barely days before his swearing-in ceremony, Venezuelans are skeptical that their beloved leader will make it in time to take the oaths of his office.
Thousands of supporters of Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas came out in Gaza City on Friday for the climax of celebrations marking 48 years since the creation of the Fatah movement. This is the first time that such a rally has taken place since Hamas took control of the Gaza Strip in 2007. A year later, Hamas forced Fatah out of the Strip. On Monday, President Abbas kicked off the festivities with a speech from the Palestinian Authority's headquarters in Ramallah. He promised that 2013 would be the year that an independent Palestinian state would be established. On Thursday, the Basque nationalist group Batasuna announced that it would dissolve the party. Batasuna has been banned in Spain since 2003 for links to the armed separatist group ETA, but not in France. The announcement comes nearly 14 months after ETA decided to put down its arms. However, the Batasuna party said it would pursue its goals of establishing an independent Basque nation through political means against what it calls the oppressive French and Spanish states. In Venezuela on Thursday, the government condemned what it called the manipulation and psychological warfare by the opposition to destabilize the country while President Hugo Chavez fights illness. Chavez is now suffering from severe respiratory infection after an operation for cancer on the 11th of December. The Venezuelan government has not given much clear information about the ailing leader's health. Having returned from Cuba where Chavez was undergoing treatment, government officials only said he had a lung infection. On Friday in Burma, people celebrated the 65th anniversary of the country's independence from Great Britain. A military parade was organized in the capital, Naypyidaw, for the event. The president sent a message to the nation calling for a peaceful society. The anniversary comes as many in the international community are calling on Burma's authorities to stop airstrikes against rebels in the far north of the country, where civil war is escalating.
Well, time now to take another break. When we come back, we'll take a look at sports. Stay tuned then. Welcome back, and time now for a look at the sports news with Famara.
Okay, thank you, Fatu. Real de Banjul Club recently awarded some of its outstanding footballers, both past and present, at a fundraising dinner organized to adequately prepare the team for the Africa CAF Championship in February. Among the awardees was His Excellency the President. Fatu Jassi has the rest of that story.
When Africa's Premier Club competition kickstarts in February, the Gambia will be represented by the reigning GFA League champions, Real de Banjul. The CAF Championship is the continent's biggest club competition, featuring some of Africa's elite football clubs contesting for a prestigious trophy. Competing in the championship requires a lot of financing. It is against this backdrop that the Gambian side convened its first ever dinner to raise funds in order to adequately prepare the team for the competition.
Real de Banjul, as the current league champions, Super Cup champions, shall represent the Gambia in the CAF African Champions League in 2013. This is why we're here tonight, to raise funds to prepare the club adequately. I assure that we shall be worthy ambassadors of the Gambia and hope to make you proud.
The fundraising gala dinner brought together Real de Banjul players past and present to dine and wine and also raise the funds required for the City Boys to fully participate in the continental event. Among the scholars who turned out to patronize the Gambian champions are some of the country's distinguished sport personalities, including the Minister of Youth and Sport, who urged Gambians to unite behind Real de Banjul as they set up to represent the Gambia in this important competition.
We can, in years to come, have perhaps Real representing this country more and more, or even have other clubs doing the same. If football is not put on or managed well, we cannot replicate the successes that we have registered and the successes that Real continues to register. So the government, I assure you, will continue to stand shoulder to shoulder with clubs like Real in this management and ensuring that football is well played and well managed.
Real de Banjul are handed a tough draw against Union de Rabat of Morocco in the preliminary rounds of the qualifiers, but the City Boys are confident that they can go past the first round and become the first Gambian club to reach the lucrative group stages. This though will not be an easy task, but for the City Boys it is not mission impossible.
We are going to take it stage by stage, but we really want to push as high as possible. We want to try and be the first team in Gambia to at least get into the group stages. We know it's tough, we know it's a very difficult route, but with the help of the Almighty God, with the help of His Excellency, who is a main sponsor in sports in this country, and with the support of the entire country, I think we can do it.
The dinner also availed the Capital Club to recognize some of the outstanding contribution of its players, both past and present. The first award of the night went to His Excellency the President for his unflinching support to Gambian football.
First sponsor, as identified by Real de Banjul, and this goes to the President of the Republic of the Gambia, His Excellency Sheikh Professor Dr. Alhaji Yaya AJJ Jammeh. Of course, he's not with us tonight, but his able minister is here representing him.
Since his government was ushered in 94, we are all witness to the amount of assistance, both personal, moral and financial resources that he has invested in the development of sports and football, as I said in particular. We've come a long way. Football has grown under his watch to the level where it is today. And if we are here to celebrate and as well try to raise funds, the successes of Real,